car thefts soar as volunteers and victims band together to track down missing vehicles. Here's the nuts and bolts broken down into statistics. So we've got a Facebook group with 12,000 members, and they're hunting down 8,000 stolen cars. I'm not joking. You might think that I'm joking on that 8,000. I am not joking. That is literally what's going on in Portland. Is that a normal size, number of? No, these numbers are off the hook. And it's because you've got a rampant drug trade going on. You got homelessness going on. Something has to fund all of those illegal drugs that used to be illegal, that are no longer illegal, that are just handed out like candy in Portland. Something's got to fund them. Stolen car parts. Yeah. Stolen car parts. So, and every now and then, who wants to take an Uber? Who wants to take Lyft when you can steal somebody's car and just use it for free? And if you need to use it again, you just crazy, right? People are losing their cars left, right, and center in Portland and in a lot of other cities. This type of crime is up. This is one of those things that's a massive issue with the whole elections. And, we're headed to just about having the midterm elections here. We're like a week away or so. And then we'll go into the 2024 elections. This is an ongoing deal. What do we do with crime? Well, for those of us that are reasonable, we're like, drop the hammer on them, put them away, throw them in jail, walk away, leave them in there, let them just cool their jets. Well, we're just not doing that. So what it comes down to is a group of volunteers from Facebook is going to go out and look for the 8,000 stolen cars. What does this even mean? Let's take a peek. Let's take a quick check. Portland car thefts are banding together to take on the crime crisis by volunteering to help reunite people with their stolen vehicles. I started a Facebook group called PDX Stolen Cars, and it took wings on its own from there just through word of mouth. Volunteer organizer Tim Crawford said on Monday's Fox and Friends. Crawford, who told Steve Ducey he founded PDX Stolen Cars after using social media to find a stolen vehicle's rightful owners, said the effort has experienced unprecedented success, garnering nearly 12,000 members. Where else are you going to have a group of 12,000 members trying to help each other find their stolen cars than in Portland? I mean, it's sad. It is really sad that this kind of thing is literally what citizens are forced into doing. And I've read a number of stories about car theft in Portland in particular. There was a writer from the Willamette Week. I believe that's, the Willamette Week. And she talked about her escapades, having her car stolen and trying to find it and trying to get it back. Because oftentimes they will find it, but it's in an area where you're like, I'm probably just not going to go and repo my car from there. We've had these chop shops in Seattle, in the south end of Seattle and South Seattle, that are just so wildly out in the open that you've got armed guards walking around. And these are not legal armed guards, right? You got a chop shop. It's all illegal stuff. It's all stolen stuff, but it's out in the open. And that only happens. This kind of stuff only really happens and is allowed to become this crazy when you defund the police and you don't have enough cops already. And then you decriminalize drugs and then you don't put any criminals in jail. So you've got this perfect storm for why wouldn't you steal a car? Maybe you're taking it for a joyride. Maybe you're parting it out. It's got some good parts. It's worth something. Get my next fix from selling this radiator cap. I don't know what they're selling. Just usually just stealing stuff. And then the car is just it's a total write-off by the time people find it. And they do find, I think this article says they do find over 80% of these vehicles. I mean, it's kind of hard unless you're just chopping the thing up and scraping off all the VIN numbers. You're probably just going to take the parts you want, go sell them. And by the time they find the chassis or the hull or what's left, you're long gone. And that's just what's going on. With the force outnumbering Portland's law enforcement, by about 10 or 15, the group can step up to help out while the police focus on other issues, such as residents of Portland just shooting each other. How about that? Yeah. Over 8,000 vehicles were stolen between January and September, not even the full year. So if we were to extrapolate that out, let's go a solid 12,000 on the year. Let's leave Q4. Let's say they're just going to do another 4,000 in stolen cars, and we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they're just going to go ham in that Q4. I mean, it's almost Christmas time. You got to steal to get your presents, right? And that's according to the City of Portland's webpage, creating a dilemma far too large for the police to resolve without help. And we have seen this in other areas of the country as well. Don't have enough cops. Cops don't have enough time to do what they need to do. So the citizens take up the slack. Portland is no different. Property theft is a little bit lower scaled out here right now. Our goal is volunteers to help locate stolen vehicles and reunite them with the owners and get the police contacted to also go out and assist. And they've been very helpful in doing that, he said. Crawford said safety remains the group's top priority, and in instances where the vehicle thief is still inside the stolen car, volunteers should contact the police. Although, who knows how long they're going to come. It may take hours for the police to come. Let's keep reading the story, though. If it's occupied, we're also going to reach out directly to the police, and typically we'll get a pretty fast response, and hopefully the bad guy will get picked up. Yeah, probably not, but maybe you're getting more cars back to their rightful owners. So this is what's happening as a result of these. I mean, these criminals know what the deal is, right? They know exactly what's going on. They know that the odds of stealing these vehicles and for them to get caught, the odds are super, super low. The odds of them getting caught are slim to none. Slim to none. So why wouldn't these criminals do this? Why wouldn't they continue to go down this road? They need their drugs, right? They need their drugs. They need their illegal source of income. And when they're not stealing from somebody's house, maybe they just steal the car out in front, and that's got plenty of parts on it. Let's just go take that, tear that apart. My youngest son had his car stolen from his apartment complex where he lives in Queen Anne area of Seattle. And it's been a while. And I've talked about it very, very minimally. But they took his Honda, his older model Honda, and it had some really cool rims, and they stripped it down. They took it to a chop shop and they literally tore it apart. They left very little, to the point where the police officer who found the vehicle called my son and said, yeah, there's just not a lot here. You want me to send you the paperwork so you can just have it, impounded and basically taken off to to wherever they take the, what's left of the frame and what's left of the chassis type vehicles, because that's about what was left. It was just, engine was out, inside was stripped out, tires, rims gone, just everything was just taken. So, this is going on the regular, because you got to pay for those illicit, got to pay for those drugs somehow. They're not just being given away for free, let alone, people think that is happening in Portland and Seattle. And at times that does happen. Well, let's just give them out drugs that we know are good, that'll just get them good and high, but won't kill them. I mean, that's literally some of the thought, the principle of harm reduction, which is, well, we know they're going to shoot up anyway. And, so let's just give them a clean needle and let's just give them some clean drugs. So, we don't want them to die. We want them to continue to be, not productive members of society. And we want to be able to keep giving them drugs. So let's just go down the harm reduction path, and we'll give them a clean needle and a place to shoot up, and we'll give some drugs every now and then. That literally happens in Seattle, and it's literally happened in Oregon, and it's happened in other towns where they've kind of thought, well, housing first, harm reduction, all of this stuff that's been tried, but doesn't really work out. And I think the streets of these cities are walking testament, physical, ongoing testament, a social experiment gone sideways. That's literally, I mean, go look at Kensington Avenue on YouTube. Just type in Kensington Avenue and watch a couple of those videos and tell me that that social experiment of just letting people do whatever they want hasn't absolutely failed miserably, like there is just no tomorrow. So people are taking it upon themselves. 12,000 volunteers. That's so many people for a Facebook group. That's a massive group to help find people's stolen cars, because there's so many stolen cars that are just out there. I think it's one of my upcoming podcasts, but I was just talking about a homeless encampment that had been cleared out. They found it was either 120 or 150 stolen cars in the encampment. That is a big encampment. If you're going to go and if you can find, even say you find 100 vehicles, you find 100 vehicles in a geographic area that nobody, necessarily knew were there or were identified as stolen, and you go through and you find 100, 120, 150 vehicles, that's a lot of cars. Try hiding 5 on your normal, maybe out in the street, not in front of your place, or in the backyard. I wouldn't be able to hide any. I got neighbors all around me, and I've got a level yard, and I've got two spaces in my garage, but that's where I park. I'm not parking stolen cars there. So you try and hide 100, that means you've got a massive area for this homeless encampment. And why wouldn't they hide stolen cars in there? Nobody is apparently going to find them until they do this clear out, right? So just wild times where you've got these issues going on, and you will see these streets in Portland. You'll see these streets in Seattle. There's one in particular in Seattle, and I tried to go there, but I was there with one of my camera guys, and we ended up bailing on it. We're going to try and get some drone footage, some overhead drone footage of this homeless encampment that operates as a chop shop just out in the open. But we couldn't get the drone to fly. And the more I read about it, the more scared I got. And I'm like, you know what? I don't have all the details down of where this is. We could be on top of it and we might not know it. Let's figure this out later. And it ended up getting busted and we never went back there. One of the other stories that I just got through doing was another stolen vehicle story. And you can only find this on our News for Reasonable People on our reasonabletv.com website, because that is our subscription service. We just rolled that out. So content that wouldn't be allowed to play on YouTube or a lot of other mainstream media because it's deemed tragic, or advertisers won't like it, or a whole host of other reasons. Maybe it's just content that they don't like. And so we're posting that on reasonabletv.com, where we've got all kinds of stories. But one of my stories that I just recorded that should be on here now is about a guy stealing a motorcycle, driving it at 1:30 in the morning with no license plates. What a dumbass. He refuses to pull over for the police, gets chased down the road 1:30 in the morning. Now, he probably gets to a point where he's super low on gas, he's going to have to ditch. He's going to ditch the bike. So he is literally riding his bike, got this high-speed chase going on. You can see it with the dash cam from the cop car. And so he gets into a residential neighborhood. He ditches the bike. You can see him ditch the bike. Now he's running. Oh my gosh, he's running. Oh, there's a cop running after him. That cop is fast too. Look at that cop go. And the cop reaches out with a taser and boom, the guy in the motorcycle, in the stolen motorcycle, goes up in flames. He explodes in a fireball. It's the most intense thing. So then you've got the cops running back to the car, looking for the fire extinguisher. They're going to put him out because this guy's literally on fire. What happened? Well, check that out. bottom line is, moral of the story is, if you're riding a motorcycle at high speeds, maybe don't have a gallon of gasoline in your backpack. I don't know. Check it out here on News for Reasonable People on reasonabletv.com. It's there. You'll enjoy it. That's where this content is going. Thanks so much for being here. We'll catch up in the next one. Bye for now.